Hi everyone, this is Lori here with Lori Hooks. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me today. So we're at a little bit of a different angle today. It is dark and dreary outside today. I should have recorded this video yesterday when it was brighter and sunnier. It was sunny out in the morning yesterday, got more overcast in the afternoon. But today is dreary out, and apparently we have a lot of rain in our upcoming forecast. That is supposed to rain for a couple of days. So trying to face a different direction to try to grab better light on this video. I did actually try to record this before, but the lighting was so bad, and hopefully this is better, but unfortunately it's grabbing the light on my glasses worse than it usually does, but it is what it is. I need the glasses. I can't see without them. But you can see my shelf in the background today. And I see there's a lot of Valentine gnomes on here. I don't actually put away my gnomes anymore. I move them around based on holidays, and I haven't moved them around lately. So I guess it's time to move them around. I didn't realize that I had so much red on two shelves together. Anyways, stop talking about the shelves, but I can see this is where I sit and I crochet at nighttime, but usually I'm facing that way, so I can't see the shelf that's behind me. So anyway, so crochet stuff. So today's video is, oh, and you can see Sophie in the background here. You say hi? Hi. Hi. That's my girl. That's my girl. Here's Sophie girl. She's laying on the couch beside me. But today's video is a yarny catch-up. I don't have anything new to show today. I also don't have any finished objects, but I thought that I would show progress on what I'm working on and then talk about life type stuff sort of related to crochet. So let's get started. So first of all, as I was showing last week, I was making hexagons with the intention of making a kind of like a valance to go over my kitchen window. And I'll show you the progress on that first. So I've started to sew them together. I don't have, now that I've started to sew them together, I don't need as many hexagons as I originally thought I did. So it's good that I started to sew it together to see what it looks like. But I'm short a few. So I started to sew them together and I got up to, I finished 2 rows of sewing and I started row 3. So, and this thing's about 67 inches wide, I think. It's upside down. It's upside down. So here we go. And I go only onto 2 rows on this side. So what I did was sew 2 of the rows together, and then I used, my daughter has like these big clothespin type things. I borrowed those from her, and I hung it up on the curtain rod to see what, and hung it over the window to see what it was going to look like. And my husband and I and my daughter took turns hanging it up and looking at it, because we didn't have it hung up properly because I didn't hang the I didn't put the brackets up on the window yet. So but we were looking at it to see if it's wide enough and to see how much length I need. So I think I'm going to do 4 rows of hexagons and then see what it looks like. But I have enough hexagons to make 3 rows and most of the 4th row, but not quite the whole thing. So I need to finish a few more hexagons and finish sewing these together. I should have used a join as you go method, but I was having trouble getting the seams to be the way that I liked, so I decided to sew it together instead. It is what it is. But that's my hexagon curtain so far. The next thing that I've been working on is my daughter had asked me for a daisy blanket made out of daisy squares. So I've been working on these daisy squares. This is what one looks like. And I'm just using 4 weight. The outside and the middle yellow are loops and threads, like a soft classic type yarn, and the white is some Bernat Super Value I got out of my stash. But this is what the squares look like. I actually have, get my stack, this many squares so far, so that's 24 squares. So we'll see. I think I'm gonna make, I think the original count for the dimensions that she asked for, I would need 96 squares. So I gotta make about 3 times more of these. But they're fun to work on. I am enjoying making them so far. I'm sure by the time I'm done making all these squares, I'm gonna be really tired of it and somebody's gonna have to kick me in order to get me to work on them. But at this point, I'm still enjoying working on them. So that is the daisy squares so far. And the other thing that I've been working on is I was working on these Red Heart all-in-one granny squares, making them out of the all-in-one granny yarn. This is the colorway Frigid, this is the colorway Amethyst, and I also have made a bunch of a skein worth of the Hot Stuff ones, and I don't have a Hot Stuff one sitting here, but I started to join them, and this is how joining is going so far. So I'm using a granny continuous join method, and I've got 3 rows joined, working on row 4. So I'm doing this 6 squares wide, and I think I'm going to do 8 squares long. I am short 1 square for the 8th row because I need, so each skein has been making, Red Heart advertises that each skein makes 14 squares. I've been getting 15 squares out of each skein, which it sounds like most people are getting 15 squares out of them. So I'm short, I needed 1 more of each color, and I had the Frigid colorway. I managed to get another Amethyst skein, and I have a Hot Stuff one that should arrive today coming. So hopefully it does. And then I can finish joining these. Not that I'm going to get to finishing joining them today. So I've got several more rows to go before I get to that point. So, but that is the granny square blanket so far. And I'm just joining that with some red Bernat Super Value that I had in my stash. So that is that. So that is the 3 projects that I've been working on. And now we're going into life stuff, sort of crochet related. I guess Sophie didn't want to lay with me anymore. She just left. She probably got too hot. She generally lays beside me for a little while, and then she goes and lays on the floor and she cools off for a little while. So I've been taking more breaks over the last few days from crochet because my arm has been really bothering me. It's classic symptoms of tennis elbow. I've had tennis elbow in the past. I got it several years ago, and it was not from crocheting. It was from actually using my computer. I used to spend, for work, I used to spend all day in front of a computer, and if I would generally work on a task for a few days in a row sometimes. So billing was one of those things that's very mouse intensive. You're going between the mouse and the number pads, so that would be on the right side of the desk, so you're using right hand. And at one point I got tennis elbow. It was bothering me, it was hurting very badly. I went to the doctor and he diagnosed me with tennis elbow, said that I could get a brace, which if you have tennis elbow issues and you have a brace, can you tell me whether or not the brace does anything? Not that the brace is expensive, I just looked at the brace and I'm like, what is this going to do for me? I'm kind of confused. But he suggested to me that I could get a brace, but his real recommendation was that I rest it for several days. And at the time I had vacation coming, So I did. I rested it for a full week for my vacation, and my arm got all better. But nowadays, when it comes to this and tennis elbow, crochet is my me time, and I crochet for probably 3 hours most days. I try to take breaks. I have to remind myself to do it because yes, I can just sit there and crochet for like 3 hours straight while I watch TV. I get up and I go to the washroom, have a drink, that kind of thing. But other than that, I generally crochet the whole time, and I don't have good stretching habits. I do stretch once in a while, but probably during that 3-hour period I won't. I might afterwards. So, and I should say might afterwards because I generally don't always do it. So I've done this to myself. I recognize that I've done it to myself, but I'm frustrated because at this time of year, when I have no activities at night, we have nothing going on, that's what I do. I work during the day, we eat dinner, after dinner, we chill out in front of the TV, and I crochet. And TV's too boring. I don't know how to just sit and watch TV and not do something else while I watch TV. So I'm having a rough time with this. I've been trying to take more breaks. Like last night, I was kind of crocheting for 15 minutes, and I take a break for 15 minutes, and I go back to crochet for 15 minutes, and then take a break for 15 minutes. Try to stretch during the 15 minutes. I have my stress ball guy to squeeze. I've been using him, trying to stretch my arm, take breaks. But even during the day, I'm have computer to work to do, so I am irritating it a bit during the day. Now luckily I crochet with my right hand, and it is my right arm that's bothering me, but I'm actually left-handed. I write with my left hand, I eat with my left hand. I crochet with my right hand because my grandmother taught me to crochet, and my grandmother was right-handed, so that's probably why I learned to crochet with my right hand, which conveniently it's probably a good thing when you watch YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff, because most of them are right-handed, so it's probably not a bad thing. But I can do lots of things with my left hand or my right hand. So I do usually keep my mouse on the right side of my desk, and I do generally use it with my right hand, but I don't find it a problem to use it with my left hand. When I had tennis elbow a few years ago really badly, at the time I had a wired mouse. I went and got a different style of mouse that was, because I find it's the closing my hand part. Like if I go like this, that hurts my arm. Whereas if I keep my hand big, it hurts it less. So I got a large man size mouse, and it was battery. So I could put it on the left side of my desk and use it with my left hand. Or when my right hand wasn't bothering, I could move it to the right side of my desk and use it with my right hand. So I have actually put my mouse on the left-hand side of my desk for now. I'm going to force myself to use it with my left hand. And trying to do other things more with my left hand, like sewing these squares together. I can sew them together with my left hand or my right hand. It doesn't have to be one hand or the other, but even holding the fabric with my right hand is bothering my arms. So it hurts less to hold it than it does to hold the needle and to actually sew, so that's better. I know I sound like I'm complaining. I am complaining. I haven't slept very well for the last few nights because my arm has been bothering me, and I've had a lot of trouble going to sleep, and I'm trying not to take anything for it, but it's going to come to that soon where I have no choice but to take something for it because it's driving me crazy, and sleep is more important. So but that is what's been going on with me. Oh, Easter weekend. What did you guys do on Easter weekend? We had a chilling, relaxing weekend. So I didn't work on Friday. None of us worked on Friday. Actually, I'm lying. My son worked on Friday. But my husband and I had Friday off, and my daughter's not working right now, so she wasn't working on Friday. So on Friday, we spent the morning at home, relaxed. And in the afternoon, we went to see my mother-in-law. I did some cleaning around the house, made dinner. That was Friday. Saturday, I went grocery shopping. I only had a few things to get because I had gone shopping for most of the stuff that I needed on Thursday because I expected Saturday to be really busy, but I was short a few things that I forgot. So I went and got those things. I think that's really all we did on Saturday. Again, did some cleaning, did some laundry, stuff like that. Crocheted less because my arm was bothering me by then more. It's been bothering me for a little over a week, but on the weekend it started to get really bad. I did spend all of Friday morning crocheting, did a few chores, did the cleaning and stuff, went to see my mother-in-law. I did not bring my crochet with me to her house, and then spent all evening on Friday night crocheting up a fiend, and by Saturday my arm was really bothering me. So Sunday was the same thing. I kind of took a break from crocheting and I made a turkey dinner for the family. It was just the four of us, my husband and I and the kids. And my son was home and he ate with us, which was really nice. He doesn't usually eat with us. So we had a nice dinner with them. And the kids cleaned up afterwards, which was really nice. My daughter actually cleans up regularly. My son generally does not, but him and the two of them did a good job cleaning up the kitchen, and apparently they are finally grown-ups at 28 and 22, and they did not scream and yell at each other while they did it. That was nice. They were laughing. That's improved. No more screaming, hitting each other with towels, spraying each other with water, all those type of things, although all those things are fun. But sometimes it gets a little loud and irritating, so it was nice that they got along and cleaned up the kitchen together nicely. So that was our Sunday. And it was a pretty relaxing weekend. I was reminded because it was Easter, and years ago when my grandmother was still here with us, she passed away actually 9 years ago on Easter. She passed away on March 31st. So she's been gone for 9 years now. And we used to always spend Easter at her house. We used to, when she was getting older and wasn't able to, because she was a typical woman of her age. She didn't work. She looked after the house. She made meals. She did grocery shopping. She crocheted. She knit. She sewed. She sewed a lot of clothing. That kind of thing. She was a homemaker. So when she enjoyed to cook a nice Sunday dinner for everybody and to have everybody over for that. So she made us many, many Easter dinners. And then when she was her health started to decline and we would all go over for Easter dinner, we used to bring ham and scalloped potatoes to her apartment and make Easter dinner at her apartment. And when I think of Easter, that's what I think of doing, is going to my grandmother's apartment and having dinner and having a nice visit. And often it would just be the four of us, my husband and I and our two kids, and my brother and his wife and their two kids, and sometimes just my grandmother, and sometimes my parents would come. Depended, because they had a cottage back then. They actually live at their cottage now. But back then they had a cottage, and they would often take an extended weekend over Easter and take the Monday off and spend the extra day. So sometimes they weren't with us on Easter, sometimes they were. But spending Easter with my grandmother was what I remember doing. And as she was gone for 9 years this year, I did a lot of thinking about her on Sunday and missing her. And that was my Easter. So anyways, I hope that you guys had a good Easter. I hope that you enjoyed it with family or friends. Went to church, whatever it is that you do for Easter. Yeah. So I guess that is it for today because I have turned into rambling mode. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for liking my videos. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next time on Lori Hooks. Bye everyone.